then you have some of these coming in, like you say, that said, "Oh, these things are like gods," and you're not going to find the truth out if you're going to worship these deals.
Well, the majority of the people that I have interviewed all say what you said. They felt that these, whatever they are, humanoids, creatures, aliens, whatever they are evil. That they got no good vibes off of them. They didn't feel comfortable at all. That they were terrified. And I've actually had some guests that's been on that not just them, but their offsprings have been abducted. And it's scary. Now, when you were with this gentleman at this conference, what's his feeling? What's going on with all these abductions and implants? Was he boisterous at all about it?
No, he really never said that much about it. And where I had met him, he worked for Channel 25, and he always wanted to do an interview with me, and I wouldn't do it. Well, we became friends over a slow period of time, but he started studying this stuff, and he came to the conclusion, too, that it can't be much good come out of it. And that's about the conclusion I am. And a lot of people get mad at me for saying it, but it's the truth. I did a show one time, a radio show with John the Baptist. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but I don't know if that was his nickname or his real name. But he has some pretty strong beliefs there. He could quote the Bible front to back, to be honest with you. But he felt like these things was demons and all. Now I don't know if they was demons or not, but he said that God cast these angels out of heaven, and he feels like that's what they were, and they were, demons now. Now, like I say, I don't know. If I knew, I'd say so, but I just don't know what they really are. That's what I'm doing, is hunting the answers now. That's the reason I'm keeping this up. That's the reason I did another book, hoping that somebody would come by that would know something. And it's been a lot of information, but it's still no conclusive answer about anything. And that's what I'm hunting.
Well, I think people need to know what's going on there. Now, James, you have a couple questions here for Calvin.
Yeah. Hey, Calvin, I'm curious, in all your travels, you've talked to a lot of other abductees. Have any of the other abductees seen almost the similar beings as you have, and the similar craft?
No. I hadn't talked to anyone. Matter of fact, I got the patent on these beings, I think, because I hadn't. The ones I've always seen are the ones they tell me about. They got big brown eyes, and they're gray, or they look like a big grasshopper or lizard or something like that. Mine looked human. They could get out and circulate and just walk around the earth if they dressed right and not be noticed. And the craft was kind of like a football shape. And, the best I could tell about it. But no, I think I got a copyright on these.
Okay. I got another question. Did that craft come out of the water, or did it come from the sky, or do you remember?
Now, that's an excellent question there. The witnesses seen it coming out of the water. We seen it coming out of the sky, and when we seen it left going in the sky. Now, the interesting thing, and this is in the first book, and it's documented, the United States Coast Guard was called out. Some fishermen had seen something under the water, and they thought it was a submarine or something. The Coast Guard was called out to go to this thing, and they had a mooring pole, and it was backed up and verified by 6 Coast Guard members. They took this pole and they bumped a craft under the water, and they all said the same thing. Now, you're talking about the United States Coast Guard and the Coast Guard members, and it was like a UFO. So, you know, I think they can go into the water and stay there. They wanted to for a while.
Wow. Interesting. Thanks, Calvin.
You know, James and Calvin, that's what I keep saying. Maybe they're just waiting for our planet to self-destruct. You know, when we start eventually going underwater, when the Antarctica keeps melting with all this water, that maybe they want to make this planet theirs. I mean, you know, it seems like a lot of these craft were always seen in the water, coming out of the water, following ships. You know, it's been so many different stories about it. That's scary. Now, you said it kind of looked like a football shape. What did it look like inside? Now, the only thing, do you remember is the room that they did the examination with you, and or do you remember anything more?
Well, what I do remember, when I first got to the door, I was looking for light fixtures because the lights were so bright. Now, they dimmed when we got in, but the lights wasn't coming out of light fixtures. They was coming out of the walls. And then we went down this hall, and it was about the same way. And when we went into the room, the only thing I seen was the examination table. Now, I don't know why they really needed that, but I didn't like that.
Wow. Did they have any, tools and stuff like doctors or anything, or was it just, other weird type of equipment?
I didn't see none. Now, it could have been, but I couldn't fully, I couldn't fully look either. I could just roll my head and my eyes.
How big was the examination room? Do you remember? I mean, can you give us a rough size or anything like that?
Yeah, I can. I would say, looking at it, it was bigger one way. I'd say 16 foot by about 12 to 15 foot. It was longer one way than the other, so probably about a 16 by 10 or 12.
Now, how about the ceiling height? Was it high or low? Or?
No, the ceiling was kind of low in a way. It looked to be about, on the inside in there, about like a 7-foot ceiling.
And what did it look like? What type of material was inside of the walls and the ceiling? Did you notice it was it like a painted thing, or was it could you remember anything? What how it was constructed inside or anything? Well,
now that's a hard question there, because the lights was coming out of the walls, and you couldn't see through them. So it was like the paint was lit up, and you really couldn't tell what anything looked like.
Wow, you're just lucky you survived it. I say so many times in the show, Calvin, how many people get abducted and don't get returned?
I've wondered that, and there's something that Linda Moulton Howe woke me up on. I seen her on the History Channel the other night, and that's cattle mutilation. Now, I wonder what the reason behind all that is, or if maybe they do humans the same way.
They do. I had an ex-government official or an agent for one of the government, things send me back last year a whole bunch of pictures from South America, Brazil, Argentina, and the Amazon of people that were abducted, and they were mutilated the same way the cattle were. And the same thing that he was saying is that it was done laser precision out in the jungle, where their sex glands were removed, their tongue was removed, their heart was removed, their eyes were removed, they're drained of blood, not a sign of blood anywhere. That was when I got those pictures. I finally took them off my computer because I found myself every so often looking at them and staring at them. And then I'd go to bed at night and I couldn't sleep because it was so horrible. But just a couple days ago, if I remember right, James, there was a cattle mutilation of a bull in Oregon, again, where the sheriff came out. There was no signs of any bullet holes. There was no signs of any animals attacking it. It was totally drained of blood, no blood around the bull. And the sex glands were removed, the tongue was removed, and the Angus weird thing. Again, laser precision.
Yeah, that was scary, and it's kind of scary too because Calvin mentioned they started draining his blood also.
Yeah, maybe he was lucky. Maybe that he got out.
Well,
yeah, maybe his
something else
back.
I thought about. Look at all these, like the Maya civilization just disappeared off the face of the earth. Look at Atlantis, places like that they say existed. I don't know if they ever did. But look at the civilizations that just come up missing.
Yeah, no sign. Incas and all that. Look in Mexico, too. I mean, all these, they were advanced to a certain level, and, they had their pyramids, they had a large society, and then all of a sudden, one day, they're gone. Just gone.
No trace.
Well, that's kind of scary there.
Well, it makes me wonder, like one day, we might wake up and New York's gone.
Never know.
I prefer Washington, D.C., folks.
Yeah. My knees go there.
As long as they don't get my houseboat.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah, I mean, how will you go fishing? Now, again, what's the name of your first book, Calvin?
Pascagoula, The Closest Encounter, My Story, Calvin Parker, forward by Philip Mantle.
And it's available where?
Amazon.
And your second book that it's now hitting the streets?
Pascagoula, The Story Continues, New Evidence and New Witnesses. Calvin Parker, forward by Philip Mantle, and afterwards by Irene Scott.
Oh, yeah, she's really a nice person. She's been on my show a couple of times.
Oh, I love Irene. She's a real sweet person.
Oh, yeah.
But both of them's out. Now, the second one's already on the bestsellers list, #1 seller.
Oh, great.
And it just came out.
Well, I'm going to have to order myself a copy because I need to get one that's autographed by you. So I got to talk to you about that sometime because, I am crazy on, getting autographed books. I got them all through my studio. And my main book I share so much is by Art Bell, The Global Superstorm. I'm looking at it right now, but I got some great books by great authors and people that have been abducted. So what would you tell people out there? What should they do if they feel they were abducted or they feel like they have an implant with them? What should they do? Who should they go see? Should they go see a hypnotist or a psychiatrist, or what should they do? Who should they talk to?
Well, I tell you what did me more good than anything was the hypnotist, and that was Kathleen Martin. And that is Bonnie and Barney Hill's niece, and she is trained professional. She's also trained in forensic science, and I liked her because she's really professional. She takes care of business. She's quiet. She won't tell nobody else anything unless you tell her she can. And get the details out there. And she takes good notes. And that's something anybody needs to do if they're abducted. First thing they need to do is sit down and write down everything they remember. If they don't remember nothing but think something happened, then it would help to go see a hypnotist.
Yeah.
I know it's helped me deal with it. And it took a lot of the fear factor out because, they put this post-hypnotic suggestion in your head. Well, don't let it, you're not going to worry about it. You're not going to be concerned about it and all. And the last time I went under was in the new book here, and it was a 3-hour session. And, that helped me a lot, to be honest with you.
Well, I think it probably has. Now you can concentrate on, your houseboat, going fishing and just enjoying your sherbet ice cream and just kicking back.
Yeah, I did like that sherbet. I think here in a little bit I'm fixing to go get me another bowl of it.
Well, Calvin, I want to thank you for coming on Night Dreams Talk Radio. I mean, it's always fun to have you on. I mean, you're probably one of the easiest guests to talk to.